What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and quick video for you today. I want to talk about the Splinter Cell remake. Look at this article that has appeared today through Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming, and a couple details to talk about with Splinter Cell. Primarily a potential, I think potential is the right word, potential release year for the game. Now, it says, like, clear as day, they don't want to get themselves nailed down to it, so it could be longer, but spoilers, it's 2026, okay? So let's jump over to the article and let's look at what they're talking about. So he says the Splinter Cell remake is making progress at Ubisoft despite rumors that the game has been quietly canceled. Insider Gaming has learned that the game is being developed under the codename North. In addition to the codename, sources have confirmed that the game is being built in the Snowdrop engine. Previous Splinter Cell games used Unreal Engine 2 and 2.5. Snowdrop has been used to develop the games like The Division 2, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and Star Wars Outlaws. And then we jump to the end here. Sources have suggested that a release date could come in 2026, but didn't want to be held to that time frame. And, earlier on he was talking about, and I mean, we knew, the thing with Splinter Cell is it's hard to get too upset with, like, what's going, I mean, you can get upset, and there are some, like, things that you might want to keep an eye on, but in terms of, like, them disappearing forever, right, you kind of have to think of two different things. Number one, when they announced it, it was just in the earliest conception phases you could imagine, right? So we're talking, like, the earliest of early development. I think it was announced, like they say, in 2021 or something. So when they announced it, it wasn't even a game yet, right? It was more of like an idea. So that's one reason. And then the second reason is they did say, I think they did a couple almost developer like sit down, interviews. And the last one, they said they were going dark for like an incredibly long time. They said it's going to be a while till you see us again. So they did tell us they were going to be gone a while, but they've been gone, I think, 3 years. So it has been a while. And I mean, based off that, right, 2026, probably at the earliest. So you're looking at like 2026, 2027, new engine, updated, I guess. We've seen this engine before. I don't know if it's necessarily new. And that's pretty much it. It's tough. Splinter Cell is in an interesting position because of Ubisoft. Like, by the time we get to 2026, 2027, God knows where Ubisoft is going to be. You'll probably have 3 or 4 more Assassin's Creed games come out by then. Who knows if the company is still public or private, right? Like, who owns the company? They are obviously in a lot of trouble. And, obviously, if you're Splinter Cell and you're those developers, you can't be thinking about that. You got to make the game the best you can make it. And I think there definitely is potential, but I don't know, like Ubisoft has found a way recently to kind of just be mediocre, and I mean, you could say whatever you want about Ubisoft, but, like Star Wars Outlaws, you had a slam dunk generally in an open world Star Wars game. You generally have slam dunks in a game called Assassin's Creed, right? They come out, they do really well. There's not much thought behind it. It comes out, it does well. Assassin's Creed Shadows is delayed. Star Wars Outlaws sold 1 million units. That's pretty bad. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, I think, is the best game they've made in like the last 4 or 5 years, by the way, and that game didn't sell either. So, they're in a very bad situation, and I do think Splinter Cell could be good. I was a big fan of the originals. I played it with a close friend of mine at the time, and we would go over to each other's house. I got a whole story with Splinter Cell. I will be covering those games on Back to the Past once we get closer to this, but I want it to be good. I want Splinter Cell to be back. I want it to be good, and I will take those old games remade any day. They're really, really special to me. So it's, can they do it well? And that's you can go into what they've already talked about and who they're working with and all this stuff, but ultimately for me, it's like we've seen literally nothing, right? Like, we've seen a couple pictures, and the game's a couple years out. Once we get closer and closer, I'm sure they'll show it to us, and then we can seriously judge, is this a faithful remake, versus unfaithful, all that jazz. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.